What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 16, Monday Night Football.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you my top DFS picks for this Monday Night Football showdown between the Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans Saints.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, let's take a look at this Monday Night Football showdown between the Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans Saints. At the quarterback position, I like Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins playing the Saints, who have a good defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing quarterbacks. Tua Tagovailoa has averaged 16.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 3.4 rush attempts per game. He's going to be about 66% owned, projected at 17.2 fantasy points here tonight, and he's 10,200 DraftKings salary. Vegas thinks there's going to be 37 points scored in this game, with the Dolphins favored by 3. So Tua Tagovailoa has scored 16, 18, and 13 fantasy points in his last 3 games, and he got 7, 2, and 4 rush attempts in those games. Now, he gets his top pass catcher, his top wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, back here tonight. So I'm going to play Tua Tagovailoa here versus the New Orleans Saints. Okay, now the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints is Ian Book. And the Miami Dolphins have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing quarterbacks. So we have no idea how Ian Book is going to play here tonight. He's going to be about 56% owned. This is just a wild card on the slate. He's 9,000 DraftKings salary. So for me, I'm going to pay up for Tua Tagovailoa. But you can roll the dice with Ian Book here versus the Miami Dolphins. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So with the new quarterback coming in, I could see them going heavy with Alvin Kamara from the Saints. And Alvin Kamara has averaged 19.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 18.4 rush attempts per game and 5.5 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 70% owned, projected at 17.9 fantasy points here tonight. He's expensive. He's 12,200 DraftKings salary. So you got to hope he puts up 20 plus fantasy points. But I think he's going to get a ton of touches and pass targets in this game. So I like Alvin Kamara here versus the Miami Dolphins. Okay, now for the Miami Dolphins, you got a coin flip between 2 running backs that look like they're going to be sharing the ball here tonight. You got Duke Johnson and Myles Gaskin. So Duke Johnson got 22 rush attempts and 1 pass target last game, scored 29 fantasy points. Myles Gaskin got 10 rush attempts, scored 5 fantasy points. Duke Johnson is 7,200 DraftKings salary, going to be about 23% owned, and Myles Gaskin is 7,400 DraftKings salary, going to be about 25% owned. So if you're going to play multiple lineups, you're going to play a couple lineups, could put Duke Johnson in one and Myles Gaskin in the other, or you could just fade both of these guys all together and just try to fit Alvin Kamara into your lineup as your lone running back. I think that's a decent option here. So, but I don't mind Duke Johnson. or Myles Gaskin. Their salaries both relatively low, and a lot of these players are priced up on this slate, so they may just end up fitting into your lineup just as a quality player that's going to get touches. So I don't mind Duke Johnson or Myles Gaskin here versus the New Orleans Saints.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So my favorite wide receiver on the slate, but he's priced up as well, is Jalen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins. And the New Orleans Saints have a good defense overall, but they give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Jalen Waddle has averaged 15.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.9 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 31% owned, projected at 14.3 fantasy points here tonight. He's 11,600 DraftKings salary, and he didn't play last week, but before that he scored 18, 32, 21, and 10 fantasy points in the 4 games before that. In the past 2 games that he played, he got 11 and 10 pass targets. So he gets plenty of volume while he's out there. He's definitely the #1 target. So I like Jalen Waddle here versus the New Orleans Saints. Now, if you want to save some salary coming down off of Jalen Waddle, take a look at Devontae Parker from the Miami Dolphins, and he's averaging 13.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 50% owned, projected at 11.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's 9,400 DraftKings salary, and Devontae Parker has scored 17, 11, and 17 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 8, 5, and 11 pass targets. But remember, with Jalen Waddle back, that's going to eat into his target share a little bit, but he could still get his season average here of 8 pass targets, so that's fine really. So I like Devontae Parker here versus the New Orleans Saints. So both of these Miami wide receivers are quite expensive. Now, if you want to save some salary at the wide receiver position, you could go with a sleeper pick here, Isaiah Ford from the Miami Dolphins, who's only 2,800 DraftKings salary. He's getting between 1 and 3 pass targets, but Jalen Waddle was out last week and he got 3 pass targets, scored 8 fantasy points. The 2 games before that, he got 1 and 2 pass targets, scored 7 and 2 fantasy points. So he'll probably get a couple targets here tonight, and at 2,800 DraftKings salary, if he does somehow manage to find the end zone or just get a big reception and get even 6 to 8 fantasy points, could get it done at 2,800 DraftKings salary. So he's only going to be about 5% owned. So he's a somewhat interesting play. And I guess the other guy, if you want to look at sleeper picks here, while I'm on the subject of these low salary wide receivers, from the New Orleans Saints is Lil Jordan Humphrey, who is 1,800 DraftKings salary, averaging 4.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 1.4 pass targets per game. And the last game that he played, he scored 13 fantasy points off of 2 pass targets. He's going to be about 9% owned. But obviously, these guys are high risk, high reward. Just guys that if you want to stack your lineup with studs, you're going to have to play one of these low salary players and roll the dice.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
So, Little Jordan Humphrey and Isaiah Ford, those guys are low salary options. I guess you could also consider Ty Montgomery from the New Orleans Saints for $2,400 DraftKings salary. But, I mean, really all these, you also got Mac Hollins from the Miami Dolphins, $200. Kenny Stills at $200. Preston Williams at $200. But I mean, you're really getting to the low ownership. These guys are getting 1 to 2 pass targets a game. But they will probably get a pass target, and maybe they make the most of it. So just to sum this up here, I think the two best options for low salary wide receivers is Isaiah Ford from the Miami Dolphins and Little Jordan Humphrey from the New Orleans Saints. Okay, so moving on from those low salary options. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. Back to the New Orleans Saints wide receivers. So probably my favorite pick here for the New Orleans Saints wide receivers would be Marquez Callaway. And the Miami Dolphins give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Now, we don't know how the quarterback is going to play, but of course, he's a professional quarterback. He's an NFL quarterback, so he can throw the ball. So Marquez Callaway has averaged 9.3 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 4.9 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 28% owned, projected at 8.8 fantasy points here tonight. He's $7,800 DraftKings salary, $900 more on FanDuel, and he scored 20 fantasy points last game off of 9 pass targets. Now, the 2 games before that, he scored 5 and 2 fantasy points off of 4 pass targets in each of those games. But it looks like out of all of the wide receivers on this slate, I think he might be my favorite wide receiver when you consider the matchup and the price and his upside. So I like Marquez Callaway here versus the Miami Dolphins. Okay, now for the New Orleans Saints, the other guy that you want to consider here, you just got to keep an eye on the injury news. If he's going to play this game and he's not going to be limited, if he's good to go, take a look at Traquan Smith from the New Orleans Saints, and he's averaging 7.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 4.8 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 22% owned, projected at 7.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's $4,600 DraftKings salary. So Traquan Smith, if he plays, then he's going to be a good value play at the wide receiver position. So I guess we'll put it like this. Sorry, I've gone over pretty much all the wide receivers on the slate here. Just trying to give you all the options that you have. Really, this is a tough slate because of the way they did the pricing, with Jalen Waddle at $11,600 and Devontae Parker at $9,400. They really overpriced those guys. And that's why I think Marquez Callaway at $7,800 is probably the best wide receiver on the slate for your lineup. I think he's going to be in all of my lineups. But so if Traquan Smith does not play here tonight, then that's going to open up the door for a guy like Lil Jordan Humphrey or Ty Montgomery. So if Traquan Smith does play here tonight, then I'm probably going to play Traquan Smith as my low salary value play at the wide receiver position. But if Traquan Smith is out, or if they say he's going to be limited in whatever fashion, then I'm going to go to a guy like Lil Jordan Humphrey at only $1,800 DraftKings salary. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit, helps clear up the wide receiver position. Let's move on to the tight end position. Now, at the tight end position, not a lot to like here outside of one player, and that's Mike Gesicki from the Miami Dolphins playing the New Orleans Saints, who have a good defense overall. They've been good versus opposing tight ends. Mike Gesicki has averaged 10.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.9 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 45% owned, projected at 10.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's $6,400 DraftKings salary, and Mike Gesicki has scored 9, 12, and 5 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 8, 11, and 3 pass targets. So I like Mike Gesicki here versus the New Orleans Saints.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.